Business in Beijing has really slowed down. This shop here, right next to Chaoyang Joy City, used to be called Man Coffee. Now it's Xinka. Just a few years back, this place would be packed across both floors with young influencers talking business about deals worth millions. Today, I met a friend here, and there were only about 20 people inside and out. In previous years, this place would have been full. This drop in business quality is worrying. Many shops are empty now. For instance, only the first floor of this coffee shop is rented out, while the second floor remains vacant. The vacancy rate in Beijing has spiked for the first time, which puts a lot of pressure on brands expanding here. With the economic downturn, more commercial spaces in Beijing are sitting empty. This rise in vacancies is driving rents down, which in turn lowers business enthusiasm to open new stores. The result is a negative cycle that's impacting the wider economy.
北京现在的繁华有点变得不太真实。
Over the past few days, I've been visiting friends, clients, and partners, and I've really felt it. Beijing's economy is indeed declining. The first to be hit are service industries like design, advertising, and film. Demand is plummeting because the market is weak, and private clients are scarce. Only big state-owned or luxury brands can still afford high-end advertising. Other clients are feeling the effects of the video age. Technical barriers are gone, aesthetic preferences have changed, and without cash flow, they're even less willing to invest. This will lead to a division where only a small group with resources and connections can survive, while young, skilled people struggle to find a foothold. China's economy remains sluggish, and Beijing in October paints a grim picture. Store vacancy rates are rising fast, and the restaurant industry is also struggling. Many middle-aged and young people are finding it harder than ever to secure jobs. Business is tough right now. Near the Second Ring Road in Chaoyang District, once prime commercial real estate, shops are now sitting empty. In such a busy part of town, lined with hotels and office buildings, stores are closing. There's one here with a 300 square meter space that's completely vacant. It's right on the street, with great visibility, yet no one's renting it. The situation described by this blogger reflects the challenging business climate in Beijing. Chaoyang District, once known for its bustling crowds and business opportunities, now has empty storefronts, showing just how intense the market pressure has become. Everyone says the restaurant business is struggling, so let's take a look. In northern Chaoyang, at the North Fifth Ring, one of the first to close was Zheng's Fresh Noodles, a top Sichuan brand. After just 3 months, the owner pulled out, having lost hundreds of thousands. Next door, the Royal Beef Pancake Store, along with Huangshang Huang Roast Duck, shut down too. That duck store was company-owned and lasted just over a year. This tough business climate is making it really hard. Even places with popular concepts like herbal and specialty noodles have closed. There's also Taurus Hot Pot. The owner closed down months ago. A small street stall with only a 2 square meter space has rent of 8,000 to 10,000 yuan. It's no wonder these businesses can't survive. Larger places like Shaanxi oil noodles and pork rib rice also shut down quickly. The same blogger's remarks also highlight the struggles in the restaurant industry. Chaoyang, a busy area that should have strong business, is now seeing many popular and new restaurants shutting down. This shows how much the industry's environment has changed. At noon, let's check out Beijing Daxing's Capital Land Mall. It's barely been open for 2 years, and it's right next to Tiangong Yuan Station on Line 4. But even during the lunch hour on a weekday, it's empty. Most of Capital Land's restaurants are on B1 and the 6th floor. Starting at B1, the mall's cafeteria is only half full. Chinese meal options have just a couple of tables occupied. KFC is at around 30% capacity, as are a few other places. Moving up to the 6th floor, it's lunch hour, but no one's here. Several restaurants have 0 customers. This level of vacancy was unimaginable in the past, even at peak times. With changes in the economy, consumers are now more cautious about dining expenses. Rising living costs means that people are focusing on value, making it harder for upscale or unique restaurants to survive. According to reports from Chinese media, a consumer recently shared their experience visiting Man Coffee at Beijing's Aeon Mall in Fengtai. They found the store closed, with a notice from a mall management stating that the shop left without warning on October 13th. On October 28th, Red FoodNet checked the store's status on the Meituan app, which showed it as temporarily closed. Beyond the sudden closure, Red FoodNet found that many customers had prepaid cards with balances ranging from a few dozen yuan to several thousand yuan. These customers are now unable to get refunds or use the cards elsewhere. Many customers were disappointed by Mung Coffee's unexpected closure. They thought that as long as they had funds on their cards, they would keep visiting and the business would continue running. But now the sudden closure has left them feeling delusioned. Mung Coffee is not the only brand leaving malls overnight. Red Foodnet reports that several dining brands have withdrawn from malls this year. Some experts think these brands may be struggling with high rents or poor business performance, leaving unpaid rent behind. In September, the Century Golden Mall in Beijing posted an eviction notice on Heijin Shaoguang, a restaurant that had been running for 12 years and once brought in 1.8 million yuan a month. The notice said it owed rent for August and September and had left without permission. Some people mentioned that this store had been warned about unpaid rent several times last year. Even Michelin-starred restaurants are not immune to the economic slowdown. Some have also left malls. In April, 2 Michelin-rated restaurants in Beijing, Tiago Home Kitchen at Indigo and Opera Bambana at Parkview Green, received notices from mall management. Tiago faced a lawsuit and had its lease terminated for closing without approval, while Opera Bambana lost its lease over unpaid rent. Data from the Beijing Bureau of Statistics shows that in the first half of this year, Beijing's large restaurant businesses, those with yearly revenue over 10 million yuan, saw their total profits drop by 88.8% to just 180 million yuan. Profit margins are now at a low 0.4%, barely reaching 1%. General lodging profits fell by 86%, while other accommodations dropped 90%. Overall restaurant revenue decreased by 3% to 49.3 billion yuan. Fast food profits declined by 50% to 240 million yuan, while traditional dining posted a loss of 76.5 million yuan. Profits from beverages and cold drinks also dropped by 86%. Restaurant profits have plummeted by 80%, and this is happening in Beijing, a top-tier city. The steep drop in restaurant profits has gone beyond what many expected, revealing how intense the competition and price wars have become. This also highlights the financial challenges facing Beijing's residents, who are either cutting back on spending or choosing less costly dining options to an unprecedented extent. A restaurant industry insider in Beijing, who asked to remain anonymous due to the sensitivity of the topic, noted that official data already reflects the tough times in the dining sector. This mirrors the overall economic climate in China, which is far from optimistic. Last year, Beijing's restaurant sector grew its revenue by 27.7% compared to 2022, which attracted many newcomers. But in just a year, that growth has turned into fierce price competition. On August 26, the well-known restaurant chain Din Tai Fung announced it would close 14 outlets across China by October 31, 2024. And this may just be the start. Data from Tianyang Cha shows that in the first half of this year, China registered 1.3 million new restaurant-related businesses, but 1.1 million were dissolved or had their licenses revoked. In Shanghai, China's financial hub, large accommodations and restaurant businesses posted a loss of 1.1 billion yuan in the first quarter of 2024, with another loss of 770 million yuan in the second quarter. High-end dining is also struggling to survive in this economic downturn. Recently, L'Atelier 18, a luxury restaurant along the Huangpu River at Bund 18, known for its average spending of 1,580 yuan per person, suddenly closed. Data shows that Shanghai restaurants with an average price above 500 yuan per person dropped from over 2,700 in May last year to around 1,400 yuan in July this year. Restaurants that are still trying to survive in this prolonged economic winter have no choice but to lower their prices in an effort to attract more diners. An expert on China's economy and a professor at the University of South Carolina, Aiken, Xie Tian, explained that when the economy is strong, people are more willing to dine out and enjoy mid to high-end restaurants. However, in a downturn, spending downgrades, people opt for cheaper eateries or street stalls. High-end business dining and corporate meals have also declined. While formal dining businesses are seeing a profit margin of just 0.4%, the number of food delivery workers has surged by 49.7%. China's weak job market has left many college and even graduate students with no choice but to take up delivery jobs to make ends meet. Speaking to Voice of America, Xie Tian noted, China's economy is now in a deep recession, possibly even entering a period of depression. People are cutting back on spending, and the rise in delivery jobs reflects this trend, marking a shift in consumption habits. As the restaurant industry declines, Beijing's already tough job market is only getting worse, making it harder to find employment. Do you know which jobs in Beijing are facing the highest layoffs? Middle office roles and HRBPs are hit the hardest. The future is moving towards polarization. Big companies will centralize, while smaller ones go solo. Mid-sized companies that try to collaborate and coordinate might just disappear. The coordination-focused roles, like HRBP and middle office functions, are losing value as companies prioritize profit over coordination. The small front, large middle office model is fading. Now it's all about small, profitable units. Middle office roles with no direct profit are getting cut, and HRBPs are facing the brunt of these layoffs. In times of economic uncertainty, companies in Beijing are intensifying layoffs.
I'm 40 and unmarried, and I've been job hunting in Beijing for almost 10 months with no success. For positions I'm qualified for, they say I'm a poor fit after the interview. In the end, it's really about age discrimination. These companies just don't want people my age. Yet they still call me in just to make up for the numbers. Most of the positions available now are low-paying sales jobs with only 1 day off per week, no social benefits and long hours. If you're not willing to accept these kind of jobs, it's nearly impossible to find work in Beijing right now.
The woman added that Beijing's advantages over other cities have largely faded. While living costs remain high, salaries have become comparable to other cities, pushing many to leave. This trend may only grow. Reports indicate that the economic downturn has led to a youth unemployment crisis in China for 4 years now, with few solutions from authorities. In August, the urban unemployment rate among youth aged 16 to 24, excluding students, was 18.8%, and remained high at 17.6% in September. Chinese media estimates there are over 30 million unemployed youth. The prolonged economic downturn is dimming the job market outlook. A July report from Zhaoping on college graduates' employment found that only 48% of recent graduates had received non-formal job offers. U.S. economist David Huang commented that China's planned economy tends to prioritize national projects and rarely focuses on the economic needs of young people or lower-income groups. Its politically driven policies, such as large subsidies for the Belt and Road Initiative, have worsened unemployment.